Hey everybody, it's Big Dude, and today we have a crazy exciting video, as you can tell from the title. I had the absolute honor to be able to ask and receive exclusive information from the main man himself, Simon. He had me send in some questions so that he could give me some exclusive answers, and so I did, and wow guys, we are in for a real treat. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Kicking things off with the first question, I asked, can you share more about the benefits of the supporter packs? I'm especially curious if they include multiple access keys. And here's what Simon said. Supporter packs come with new avatar cosmetics that some will be shown when pre-orders go live. Supporter and founders packs will keep getting cosmetic updates for a while because I want players to actually feel like they got their money's worth. What you see at launch isn't the final set. This is something I honestly did not expect to hear, but this is really cool. So if you buy the supporter or founder pack, you will actually not only get new cosmetics on launch, but you will continue to get new cosmetics for a while after launch to really make it feel like you got your money's worth. I think this is a really awesome thing that they're doing. Now, he did say they don't include extra access keys. Handling keys turned into a messy process on our side, and keeping the base price low felt like the better call for everyone. So no to extra access keys, unfortunately, but it is really cool to know that we are going to be continually getting more and more cosmetics for a while after early access goes live. I think this is a really awesome thing that they're doing. All right, moving over to my second question. I said, what can you tell us about adventure mode, story structure, handcrafted dungeons, quests, progression, that kind of thing? Release window? And here's what Simon had to say about that. Here's the real state of things. We have the systems needed for a proper adventure mode, but most of it hasn't been built yet. Instance dungeons already work, which is awesome. We can stop block breaking and build controlled experiences. There's one old dungeon from 2019 sitting in the game. It's buggy, it might not ship in early access, but you'll still be able to open it from the instances menu if you want to poke at it. It may be buggy, but I still think it's really cool that we'll be able to take a look at what this dungeon looked like back in 2019 to get an idea of what the dungeons could look like in the future. I think this is really awesome. The objective system could power quests, but we wiped the configs because it didn't fit the current direction. On the good side, we added 2 adventure pieces just in the last few weeks. They'll grow throughout early access. Early access is meant to feel like an event, not just a tech drop. Now, here's where it gets really cool. The Cursebreaker term seems to hold a lot more weight than just a we saved Hightail term. Listen to what he says here. The Hightail is saved moment ties straight into the Cursebreaker arc, which blends the real story and the in-game situation. So it seems like the Cursebreaker arc is actually going to be a part of the story. It's not just a term for saying that we saved the game. Adventure mode release window, not early access. It needs proper dev time. Totally understandable. All right, so the third question I asked, I am a huge dungeon guy, so I had to ask more about them. I said, how deep does the dungeon/loot system go? Puzzles, handcrafted layouts, bosses, keys/locking mechanics? Is there unique loot, like rare named weapons and armor? And Simon replied, there are plenty of handcrafted prefabs, items, and smaller dungeons to explore. Full handcrafted dungeon runs aren't in yet. Now, the yet does imply that they are planning on bringing in full handcrafted dungeon runs. He continues along saying, with our tools, it's actually pretty easy to build them, and I plan to put devs on this when we finally go all in on adventure mode. So it does seem like they're going to be expanding upon the smaller dungeons that we'll probably see on early access and bringing in some more in-depth, intricate dungeons, which I am all about. To me, that is going to be one of the most fun things to do in Orbis. He continues along saying, unique loot and named items are planned, but are not ready today. Honestly, modders will probably whip these up within 24 hours. The tools make it simple. So yes, there is going to be unique loot and named items in Hightail, but also with the tools provided, we'll be able to make those ourselves very easily. I can't wait to explore dungeons. This is the kind of experience I've always wanted. To have my little cozy home and my garden and my animals and whatever, but then I can venture out and find a really awesome dungeon dive deep down in, fight a boss, and find a rare sword, and have this really cool experience, and then just go back to my cozy home, go fishing, relax. Like, that is the gameplay loop that I want so badly. Man, I'm excited for this game. Let's continue on to number 4. I had to ask the question. Where does the portal lead to in your gameplay showcase? Are there other dimensions? This is a really interesting response. Simon said the portal leads to other, quote, places tied to the Cursebreaker arc. We'll talk about it more as we get closer to release. So it seems like these portals are not going to be taking us to dungeons, which he did already confirm, but they're going to be taking us to maybe story locations or something in related to the Cursebreaker story arc, which, as we learned from question 2, this is not just a term for We Saved Hightail. The Cursebreaker arc is part of the story. So it's actually possible that maybe even in this exploration mode, we may still get little hints and teases of the overall story of Orbis. This is really, really cool. If I'm reading into this correctly, this means that there won't be a total absence of story in the exploration mode. I, and probably a lot of other people, were thinking that there was going to be absolutely no story elements, and all of that was going to be saved for adventure mode. But considering the portals are in the game now, and they lead to places tied to the Cursebreaker arc, which we now know is part of the storyline, makes me think that this is going to be something in relation to the overall story, which I think is so incredible. This is honestly one of the most exciting things from this interview. The fact that, first of all, the Cursebreaker is so much more than just We Saved Hightail, and then on top of that, we are in some capacity going to be getting this Cursebreaker story within the exploration mode at early access. I'm so excited to see what this actually entails, because the story is going to be one of my favorite parts about the game, and the fact that we may actually be getting little glimpses of it within the exploration mode just makes me even more excited to jump into Orbis. All right, number 5, I had to ask when and how can players be able to reserve usernames? I need to secure Big Dude before someone does it first. And here's what Simon replied. Username reservation happens at pre-orders. First come, first served. We will reserve the right to change names if they are trying to impersonate. Now, if you are a fellow content creator watching this, listen up because this is important for us. He said, we're also blocking most YouTuber names on day 1. You'll get a notice and can claim your name back through a simple form or by contacting us. More details when we get closer. So rest assured to the Hightail YouTuber community, we will be getting our names. All right, and most importantly, I asked him this. Is there anything you're excited to share or tease that we haven't talked about yet? This is really cool. He said, yes, we're adding a grappling hook. We found a few versions of it. One is balanced, one is completely broken in the best way possible. You can grapple onto a flying bird and just go for a ride. You can pull enemies or players towards you. The balanced one will most likely make early access. The broken one is not confirmed, but if it does, it would be as a fun toy for creative players and modders because it's ridiculous and amazing. This is awesome! The grappling hook is my favorite item ever. I literally just talked about this in my previous video when Simon was talking about adding the glider, and I said, I want a hook shot, and he said, why not both? Well, it seems like that was already in the plans, and it looks like there's going to be 2 versions of it. One of them is balanced. So what I'm assuming with the balanced grappling hook is it will work more like a traditional grappling hook where maybe you can hook onto wooden objects and pull yourself towards it, or maybe grab loose items on the ground and pull it towards yourself. Oh my goodness, this gets me so excited. I am a massive Zelda fan, and the hook shot and the grappling hook, like that is my absolute favorite Zelda item. So to see this confirmed to most likely make early access just puts a huge smile on my face. I cannot wait to grapple around Orbis. But then it does seem that there is a broken one where, as he explained, you can hook onto a flying bird and just fly around the map. You can pull enemies or players towards you. And as he said, it does sound ridiculous and amazing. So hopefully we do get that as a fun toy for creative players and modders just to play around when we're in creative mode, because that does sound like a really fun time. All right, guys, so that is going to be it for the interview. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you again to Simon for giving me this opportunity. I'm so incredibly grateful. And I hope that the questions that I asked were things that maybe you guys were also curious about. This was such a blast to put together, and I am so incredibly excited for the future of Hytale. But anyway, with that being said, guys, that is going to be it. If you haven't already subscribed, it would mean a whole lot to me if you did. We just hit our 2,000 subscriber milestone, and we're on the track for 3,000. So if you want to keep helping me with that journey, it would be deeply, deeply appreciated. God bless you guys, and I will see you on the next one.